Hey everybody, welcome to Cooking with Funzyr. Today we've got Chef Steven helping us and we're going to be making some meatballs. So the first thing we're going to do is let's put the meat in. We're going to do 1 pound of ground beef. We're going to use the 80/20. This is fresh out of my freezer. We're going to do 1 pound of ground pork. This is actually fresh from the store. Alright, I've got 1 green pepper and 1/2 of an onion in here. We're just going to throw those in. They're finely chopped so that we can get them into our meatballs without having too big of chunks. Right. Next, we're going to use breadcrumbs. I like the pancos. We're going to throw in or plain breadcrumbs so that I can do my own seasoning. I like the pancos because they do give some good texture, but plain breadcrumbs is just fine too, which is what we're using here. We're going to do about 1/4 cup. You can go ahead and start stirring that with your hands. So the idea is to incorporate it, and there's a lot of stuff we're going to put in. Next, we're going to throw in about about a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. You can keep stirring that. So he's gonna keep working that. Now the more you work the meat will become a little bit denser. So we want to work meatballs a little bit more than like a hamburger, that you want to be nice and loose so you can bite it and get all that juiciness out of it. We want this to hold up because we're going to actually cook it in the crock pot. Next, we're going to do just an Italian seasoning mix. We're going to do, it doesn't want to come out. I got a solution for that. We're going to do about 2 teaspoons of that. Keep going. You can keep going while I do this. Okay, you don't have to stop. This is great having 2 people working on it because he can mix it and it helps this whole thing go much more efficiently. We're going to do garlic next. We're going to do lots of garlic. Keep doing it. Keep stirring it, mixing it. Right around a tablespoon of garlic, just because there's no such thing as too much. Now if you want, you can actually use fresh garlic. I'd say about 3 to 4 cloves chopped up would be nice. We're going to add a little bit of basil just because personally I like a little bit more basil than what they put in the Italian seasoning. Just a couple of dashes. Next, crushed red pepper. Now this stuff can get spicy, so we're just going to throw in like 1/2 of a teaspoon of it. Keep going, bud. You're doing great. Finally, my secret ingredient is some Parmesan cheese. And we're going to throw in about 1/4 cup of that. Let's take the lid off because it doesn't seem to want to.
It's not Parmesan.
There we go. Alright, so once that all gets mixed in, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put them into balls. So while he's doing that, I'm going to prep our crock pot here real quick. Now this is a very complicated process. What we do is we take our canned pot or jarred pasta sauce, we open it like that, and then we dump in enough to cover the bottom. Alright, we're prepped. Alright, let me get in here and see how we're doing with the meat. Here. Yeah, thanks. Alright, ooh yeah, that's looking good. We're just going to turn it over. We've got a couple of white spots in there from the Parmesan. We're just going to fold that in there real quick. Okay, looking great. So what we want is we want all of the meatballs to be the same size. In order to do that, we've got 2 spoons. We take one and we're going to scoop some of the meat mixture out. And then the second one is just to brush it over here so that Chef Steven can form it into a ball. And I'm just going to keep scooping out pieces, and he'll keep rolling them into balls. And once that gets full, I will help him also. But once we get the bottom in here filled up with meatballs, we're going to cover it with more tomato sauce, more of our pasta sauce, and then we'll keep adding meatballs until we use up all of the meat mixture. So what we're going to do then is tomorrow morning we're going to plug in the crock pot, let this go for about 8 hours on real low so that it can simmer and get all those flavors nice and married in there. And that's that. That's how I like to make meatballs. Other alternatives as far as cooking the meatballs is you could pan fry them, sear them in a hot pan, cook them up like that. It's also a good way to test if you're not sure how you're going to like it. Take a little piece of the meat mixture, cook it up in there, and you can try it that way and get an idea of the flavor so you know if you need to adjust anything. Another way to do it would be to bake it in the oven. You can also start it out in the pan and then cover it with some sauce. Cover the meatballs with sauce so that they can simmer in there for a little bit. Cooking time is going to be about 45 minutes at 350 in the oven, or about 20 to 30 minutes depending on exactly how you do it on the stovetop. Well, thank you for joining me. This has been Cooking with Funzyr and Chef Steven. Have a good day.